William also wrote the book titled Genesis Reread, published in 1885, with a preface that begins, "The writer of this book assumes the existence of a personal God and maintains that the universe is from him." He also wrote active service or religious work among U.S. soldiers, published in 1897. The Haitian Revolution, 1791 to 1804, or Sidelights on the French Revolution, published in 1914, and 50 Years in the Gospel Ministry, published in 1921. He wrote a novel called A Charleston Love Story, published in 1899. The novel's first chapter begins, "I don't think our Len will ever amount to much," said Leonard Howard, Sr., one day to his wife as he entered the house. "Why not, Father?" anxiously inquired Aunt Millie. "Oh, well, he's too careless and too trifling. He's smart enough, got wit enough, but it all runs the wrong way. I've about given him up." "Oh, no, Father, don't do that. Don't get discouraged. Let's wait a while longer. You and I and Bernice here ought to be able to bring up one boy, even if we are getting old. I shall not give him up yet." Theophilus wrote The Colored Regulars in the United States Army, published in 1904, covering his chaplaincy and the broader salvation of the troops. A book written about rather than by Theophilus is Elevating the Race by former Oberlin College Religion and African American Studies scholar Albert G. Miller, published in 2003. This book details how the Gouldtown descendants' views on Christianity, military service, and imperialism were controversial because they often aligned with American expansionist goals, and some vocal Black activists viewed them as hypocritical or oppressive. Steward's views were rooted in the racial uplift ideology of the Black professional class, which sometimes distanced him from the Black masses. Miller notes that Steward's tenacious pursuits of high standards frequently led to conflict with the very community he sought to serve, as his approach could be perceived as elitist or out of touch with the lived experiences of the broader Black population. Throughout his career as a minister, an Army chaplain, and professor, Steward's focus on building a disciplined African American civil society through religious and educational institutions was sometimes met with resistance from those who prioritized different political strategies, or who found his views on issues like military service and imperialism controversial. He understood American institutions to be superior, able to uplift people at home and abroad. He supported U.S. intervention in the Spanish-American War, for instance, and he later served as a chaplain in the Philippines with the 25th U.S. Colored Infantry. While many Black intellectuals of the era, such as those in the Anti-Imperialist League, criticized him for supporting colonizing people of color abroad. He defended U.S. military action as opportunity for drastic domestic and foreign progress. He saw the military not just as a tool of the state, but as a vital social institution for African Americans, an institution that fostered discipline and moral virtues, values necessary for Black men to participate fully in civil society. During his time as chaplain, he organized robust educational programs for the enlisted men to learn to read and write. And his aforementioned book, The Colored Regulars in the United States Army, is a book he wrote in order to document and celebrate the heroism of Black soldiers. Based on Gouldtown's title and author details, we get that William and Theophilus Steward were motivated to write this book to preserve the history of their African American community for future generations, to document Gouldtown residents' achievements, to explain the uplifting values and habits that undergird those achievements, especially Christianity and education, as well as military service, and to savor their personal connections to Gouldtown and its people. The foreword of Gouldtown reads, "It has long been in mind to prepare and put in book form the oral traditions, as well as such authenticated facts as could be collected from records and public documents of the remarkable settlement of people of color, which has here been attempted." The study of 3 original families herein set forth in this county, Cumberland, and a 4th family connected to a degree with them of Salem County origin, is a subject of some interest. That it is of more than local interest has been shown by lengthy newspaper articles in many metropolitan journals during the last 30 years. The settlement was made the subject of historical allusion more than 3/4 of a century ago. And while many of those periodical articles have been based upon very insufficient information, the writers having been attracted to the subject by the historical allusions above referred to, they have been of a character indicating estimation. To preserve these traditions, records, and histories, as well as some of the more enlarged interest, is the object here had in view. So write William and Theophilus. From the foreword, we got that the brothers wrote this book to complete a long contemplated task, to bring to a national audience a community story of local interest, to provide detail to flesh out general notions about the town and its people, to preserve Gouldtown families' traditions, records, and histories,